Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got my first song that I've ever done in Disturb today. We're going to learn how to play Down with the Sickness. So I get requests for this a lot, so time to do it. All right, so we are in dropped C sharp, which probably explains why I didn't do it before, but I got it pulled it off today. So I'm in dropped C sharp. I'll put those notes in the description. Basically, it means it's tune your whole guitar down a half step. So every string just like an E flat tuning. And then from there, lower the low E string or E flat string at this point down another whole step to make it kind of like a drop D tuning. So in that drop tuning, since everything's a half step down, from instead of drop D, it'd be drop C sharp or drop D flat tuning, whatever you want to call it. All right, but I'll put those descriptions there, the notes in the description, but it would be D flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, E flat. All right, so let's go through. Oh, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell, please, so you know when I release a new video. And check out my Guitar Academy. You'll see the link in the description below. It's got all my guitar courses there, and it's a really cool community, so come and join us. All right, so let's take a look. I started with these muted strums. So that's just kind of like, you know, kind of keep that standard muting. You're going to mute the strings. So we got kind of hits of 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But they're starting on, they go up on the downbeat, then upbeat, then downbeat, then upbeat. So. And then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have this. So that's what you hear at the very beginning of the track, and then we have this. All right, so we just basically have that riff going on until it stops, and we get that kind of part. So we have heavily palm muted, and Dan plays all downstrokes for this for most of the single note riff he does. He usually does all downstrokes, and for the chords he just kind of does down and up. So we have this. So that's going to be 7th fret, 10th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, 7th. So it's a 5-note pattern. So then repeat that. And then we have 2 of the 5-note patterns, and then a 4-note pattern, which is going to be 7, 10, 7, 8. So we have this. And then you just repeat the 2 5 patterns again, followed by the pattern of 4. 5, 5, 4, 5. All right, so we do that a little bit, and then it cuts out real quick, and with the vocals come in, and then we basically take that riff that we did here and play it down an octave with power chords. All right, so we're going to be here at the 2nd fret across, just bar. I'm going to call it the low E string, but we know it's not an E string anymore. So on the low E and 2nd fret and the A string. So you're going to do it like that, and then you know, bar with your pinky, or it's probably better to bar with your pinky. The 4th, so the 5th fret there across those 2 strings. Then back to the 2nd fret power chord. And then 3rd fret power chord across the low E and the A, and back to the 2. So we have that same kind of. So we're playing with the power chords down here. And then so that's that sequence of 5, and another one, and then the 4. So just like that. So it's important to kill it after every so after the group of 5, mute it, and then. So you don't want to let them ring out. You do it towards the end of the song, the last chorus, we kind of move up a whole step there. You're going to let it ring there. But here, we want it to sound more percussive. Now here, after we've played the riff that many times, we kind of do a little turnaround, this little ending part of the riff. Just hit the 2nd fret once and then the 3rd fret 3 times. And that's pretty muted. Let's play this. So the 4th time through there, I'm playing the full riff. We had that. Then it starts over again. Instead of now, the last time of playing it, the 2nd time through this ending, instead of doing this, we have this. And it's just, he plays 2 real quick, shift up real quick to 5, and then down to 3 a couple times. All right, so we kind of got. So you had to hit that 3, you kind of jump to that real quick. The kind of 4 hits on the 3. And then we get down to the verse sections. Now the verse has a couple of guitars there. So I'll show you the main part first. We have this. Now, that's really kind of the first half of the verse there. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. So I'm going to stop there. But we do something very similar for the 2nd half of the verse. So anyway, so we're just starting. We're on the low E string, 2nd fret. Just palm muted there. So we're still doing that sequence of 5, 5, then 4. So that same pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just on 1 note now, though, so it's a lot easier. Five, 5, 4. And last time, after you've gone through that 5, 5, 4 sequence 4 times, we have that little kind of the last 4. The pattern of 4, the first 2 are the low E string, 2nd fret, and then these 2 harmonics. That's on the D string, the 5th fret harmonic on the D, and then the 5th fret harmonic on the G. So that's, if you can feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so all together for the first half of that verse. Repeat. Now here, instead of going to those harmonics again, we do that little, kind of like we did earlier in the in the intro of the song. And that was just kind of that power chord in the 2nd fret, and then the 3rd fret a few times. All right, now what's different about this is we have this little clean, I'm going to roll up the volume a little bit, kind of clean it up a little bit. We have this little, it's really in the background, it's just kind of this little eerie section that if you have a 2nd guitarist, you might want to do it. So over the verses, you hear that in the background. All right, so just for completeness sake, I'll show you that. So really, this is kind of on kind of cleaner setting. It's supposed to sound real dissonant. Kind of second fret on the low E there. Third fret on the G. Sorry, third fret on the G. Open B, open high E string. Then play the first fret on the B. Then the open B. So like this. Now you pretty much repeat it. And then at the end of the second time through, you add the third fret there before you play the second fret to repeat the whole thing. So that's going on underneath that. All right, so the second half of the verse, similar. He opens up a little bit, not as palm muted. All right, so that right there, basically really the main difference is the first group of 5. We play that same pattern that we did before, just on the low E that we did here, but off the second fret of the low E. So 2, 5, 2, 3, 2. And then from there, the next group of 5 is just on the 2 again. And then the group of 4 is just on the 2, 2. So we have this. B. So everything else is the same, including the harmonics. And the ending. That little ending there that takes us into the chorus. So the chorus sounds like this. So off the second fret there, power chord. Then, so hit it a couple more times. Up to 3, back down to 2. Then you're gonna jump up here. It's a little bit tricky here to hit the right harmonics. You're gonna hit the 5th fret harmonic off the B string twice. So, and then jump back down. 2, 2, 3, 2. So we have this. And now you're going to repeat it again, except the harmonics are going to be slightly different. So that, instead of going twice on the B string, we put the first one on the 5th fret on the B, and then the second one is on the 5th fret of the G. So we have this. Slide out the low E string, and repeat. And just kind of let that ring out there at the end. All right, so from there we go into the same verse section that we did before, and then the same chorus that we did before, so nothing new there. All right, so now when we get this little, I call it just like the bridge jam section where the vocalist is just going crazy. It's got a weird feel to it. It's just 3 basic chords. So we're basically just going it kind of starts just doing a 2nd fret power chord, a 4th fret power chord here. And then we go into the actual riff itself. So this section itself is just based across 3 chords. So I'm going to kind of show you how to count it so it's not that confusing. So we're going to start here first, just the chord, the 4th fret power chord off the low E. We've been playing already. And then the 3rd fret and 4th fret power chords off the A. All right, so basically you want to start this little first note that power chord we do to get into it. Just ignore it. It's there. It's just setting up now when we get to the 4. This is the beginning of the section. So what you want to think of it is this is one hit on the low power chord, and then we go to that 3/4, which we do every time, and then we go to 2 hits on the low power chord, and then just play that same 3/4, and then jump back and grab the low power chord again. So we're always going to have 1 hit on that low power chord followed by 2 hits. You just got to get the timing of it down. So we have this little. Then back to 1. So it's always like 1, dun, dun, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, dun, dun, 1, 2, bum, bum. All right. So it basically does that 4 times. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Now, if you've done that 4 times, this is where it might feel kind of odd to you, but this is how you feel it. He just does 2 1s kind of in the middle of everything. So after you've done that, what we just did 4 times, the whole pattern, 1 to 2, then you just do 2 1s. So just like that. So just the 1 done 2 times in a row. Then we start back with just doing the 1 2 1 2 1 2 pattern done 3 times. So with this. So basically the 2 1 hitting it once by itself, and then we start the patterns again. So with this 2 right here. Back to the 1 2. 1 2. So after that so basically you did that 1 2, you did that 4 times. And then we have 2 little ones in the middle. It's just that doing that 1 and then 1 again. And then we do that, go back to the way we were playing it before, going 1 and then 2. You do it 3 times. So after that, 1 2. You play the 3 4 power chords off the A string that last time. That happened after that last hit of 2. Then we go to this kind of higher pitch version of the riff we played before. It's a bit higher, so it's over here. So it's the same pattern though, same thing. So it's off the 4th fret of the D string. So 4, 7, 4, 5. So the same thing we did here, but just here at the 4th fret of the D. And for a little bit longer. And then we get to basically stay on the same fret. We move down here to the low E string and do that same pattern just like we did here. But it's up here at the 4th fret. Now here's where we let them all ring out. We don't go. We let them ring. Same endings though. So I did that just like we did in the previous riff. It's at now it's at 4/5 though. Repeat. And just like the ending we had down here, we we're going to do that here up 2 frets. 4, 7, and then 5 4 times. Or 3 times, or whatever. Let's do 3. All right, so anyway, it's a fun track to play as soon as you get it down. It's got kind of some tricky rhythms in it too, where it's going from 5, kind of you're hitting patterns of 5s and 4s. It's not an account of 5. It's still kind of a distinct pattern that it's doing. Just the feel doesn't change. It's just that how many notes are in each pattern kind of keep flipping around. So especially when it gets to that bridge section, it gets really weird. So hopefully I helped you guys understand how to approach it, and so you can count it out pretty easy. All right, I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.